Welcome to Getting Sketchy Live, brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. And now, let's get sketchy.
Well, hello there, everyone. Matt here with thevirtualinstructor.com, and welcome to Getting Sketchy Live, Season 15. This is the first episode of Season 15, believe it or not. I can't believe that it's Season 15. We had a few weeks hiatus like we always do, and I don't know why the thing says live in 13 minutes. It's live right now. It's 6:30 where I am, and it's 6:30 where Ashley is.
Yep,
who's sitting right
across from you.
How are you doing this evening, Ashley?
I'm doing well, man.
Oh, you're laid back.
I'm sorry.
You're
Hey,
sitting way back in the seat. Ashley is relaxed this evening.
I pushed myself away from the table accidentally.
Relaxed.
Probably should be pushing myself away. I've been eating a lot. I've gained a lot of weight since the last season. I don't know if you can see it in my face. But in any case, I'm not pushing myself back from the drawing board. I'm pulling up to it. I'm ready to go. I hope you're ready to draw along with me. We've got what I think is an exciting subject because it's an object, a geometric object, and we're going to get to it in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we will get to it in just a minute. First of all, you got to understand something about Ashley. He's trying to gain weight.
That's right.
He's the opposite of most people who try to lose weight.
It is the best hobby. I've made gaining weight my thing. It's so much fun. So, been eating pies, been eating supper twice at night. It's been great. You may remember that I had a tick infection at the end of the last season. And I think the infection is why I was losing weight. And so I decided to turn things around, and it's been fun.
I don't think the tick had anything to do with losing weight. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't buy that.
I think it was my summer obsession with playing golf.
Maybe.
You know?
I just think Ashley is the opposite of things. Opposite of things. When it's hot outside, he wears lots of clothes.
That's true.
When it's cold outside, maybe he doesn't wear as many clothes. I don't know. You know,
I don't know.
I can't remember what you're wearing. You're wearing pants, though.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
Sweatpants.
Right, it's only in the 70s.
But a t-shirt, right?
But I have my sweatshirt over here in case I get cold.
In case it gets cold. It was nearly 80 degrees today.
So I'm traveling with a sweatshirt. Anyway. You never know when it could get breezy in here.
Losing weight. I mean, trying to gain weight, but most of us are trying to lose weight. Anyway, great problem to have to gain weight. Ashley's going to be doing the drawing tonight, the first drawing of the season. We flip-flop, so next week I'll be doing the drawing. Anyway, if you want to have the reference photo that Ashley's going to be working from, you can find it over on the post section of YouTube on this channel. So I'm going to explain how to get to that. If you go to the YouTube channel, so if you click on the little icon of my face, that will take you to the YouTube channel. Then look for a menu in the middle of the screen that says Posts. Clicking on that will take you to the Post page, and the top post will be the photo reference that Ashley's going to be working from with a link back to this page so you can get right back into the video. Also, if you are watching the live version of this on YouTube or right now as we speak, there is a chat box, of course. You can post comments and questions. If you have a comment or question that's specifically directed at Ashley or I, we ask you to use the super chat function. We will play a little cheer if you do that for us. That helps the channel. It does cost a little bit of money, but it does help the channel, of course, and it helps us. It motivates us to keep getting sketchy here.
That's right.
I'll be honest with you. There are people that make, oh, look, Jan has given us a super chat. So we'll give Jan the cheer, and you can see what I'm talking about. Pretty exciting stuff. I mean, that was well worth it.
Yeah, thanks for that demonstration of how to do the super chat.
Right. Jan says, yay, the best live show on all of YouTube is back. And I think I forgot to say that tonight. I'm not sure if I said that, but yeah, Gettin Sketchy is the greatest live broadcast in all of YouTube, of course. What we do here, now that we're about 15 minutes into the show, is Ashley or I, we try to create a drawing for you inside of 45 minutes. We have a timer and everything, and this is all spontaneous. It's all live, of course, so there's pressure on whether or not we can complete it in time and whether or not we can draw the subject accurately. But we also try to sprinkle in a little bit of instruction in there because we're both art teachers and we're trying to teach you so that you can be better artist yourself. So that's what this show is all about. And we are somebody I read creeping on the thing. Jen says, I love you guys, but that is one creepy animation. Well, that was I was getting to the point that the reason why we call it Getting Sketchy is because we're creating sketches, but Ashley and I are both pretty sketchy people.
Sketchy dudes.
We're sketchy. So anyway, so that goes along with the creepy animation. So anyway, let's see. If you do like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you're notified when new videos are posted. We do more than just Getting Sketchy here. I post a lot of free lessons on YouTube. And we'd love you to leave a comment too. But if you really want to go deeper with your art instruction, I've got a lot of videos here on YouTube, but I've got way more over at thevirtualinstructor.com. In fact, I think it's close to 2,000, maybe over 2,000 videos. I have no idea. I counted them not too long ago, but I can't remember. We have tons of drawing and painting courses on every subject matter and medium that you can imagine. There are weekly live lessons that we've been doing since 2012. All of those have been recorded. So that's one lesson every week since 2012. And they're in our vault for you to go back and watch. We broadcast an hour each week. There's also weekly critiques that I publish in video format for members. And that is part of the Members Minute. And there are over 540 of those now. There's also a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers that includes everything you need to teach, all the resources, everything you need to teach. If you want to learn more about the membership program, everyone starts out with a free trial. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now, or you can look for the description or look for the link in the description below this video, and that will give you more information about the membership program. And I would encourage you to join in. I get a lot of people here recently in the last, year or so that reach out to me and think that the courses are an additional fee beyond the membership fee. And I understand why people think that, because the membership fee is so low. And that's always been my philosophy since the beginning, is that art instruction should be accessible to everyone and it should be inexpensive. It is not for the rich and snooty. We're definitely not like that as part of the program. But no, everything, all the courses, all the live lessons, everything, all the videos, all the ebooks are included in the membership price. There is nothing more to buy at all. So check that out. And I think that's it. All right. Are you ready to start season 15, Ashley?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and switch over, and we'll get. And someone's saying, "What's with the advertising?" I'm imagining that's the advertising YouTube puts on the video. Yes, I do put advertising on the YouTube videos. We do have to make a little bit of money for these podcasts. It's YouTube. Right. So yeah, there's going to be some advertising on here. You guys should be used to that now if you watch YouTube ever. All right, let's go ahead.
All right, let's talk about
switch
materials.
into this.
Let's do it. All right, so you can see our lovely reference on the left. It's a pencil sharpener, but not just a pencil sharpener. It's my pencil sharpener. There it is. There is the protagonist of the evening, I suppose. And we're going to be drawing in pencil on white paper. So it's a pretty easy entry into the season in terms of materials that you need to participate, to follow along. I think last season I started with pastel on black paper, but most seasons I start with a pencil drawing and then sort of wade into other materials and color media from there. So back to basics, starting with a pencil. It's kind of like getting into a pool slowly. We're going to get into the season slowly and start with a pencil. Let's take a look at the materials that I'll be using with pencil. I have a kneaded eraser, and I'm hoping it sticks down so that I can stack my pencils on top of that. And I'm going to begin and probably do a fair portion of the drawing with an HB pencil. I don't know if you guys can read that. There we are. If I tilt it just right, It's an HB pencil. Some of the darker areas we will use a General's Layout pencil, which is similar to a 4B pencil, if you have one of those, or an Ebony pencil, if you're using a pencil brand that comes with the Ebony label. But General's calls theirs a Layout pencil.
Let me say something about the Ebony pencils.
All right.
Avoid them. They are super shiny.
They are.
And they smear like crazy. So the General's Layout pencil is fantastic. If you have not purchased an all-around pencil,
right.
General's Layout pencil.
You could just use that pencil. It is a great pencil.
It's fantastic.
One of the best. All right. Now, I do also have a black Factus eraser. And I think, there we go, black Factus 18. It's been around a while, but there's still plenty of eraser there. It's a rubber eraser. It's pretty soft, and it supposedly leaves less eraser shavings than some of the alternatives. And I do have an electric eraser. This electric eraser has seen better days. There's like
it's missing
a decorative collar that is gone, but the button still works and the motor still works, and so I'm still using it. I do have a brand new filament in there tonight since it's a new season, and I did bring a stump. May use the stump just a little bit, maybe not. If you look at I took this picture myself with my pencil sharpener on a piece of black paper, and you can see that it's in pretty sharp focus in the foreground or down in the lower left, and it's a little out of focus in the top right. Now, I'm not going to try to make the background look like a piece of paper, with the fibers and all the noise that's in there. But if the strokes are rather prominent, we may soften them a little bit behind the pencil sharpener, just so the strokes and the mark making looks sharper in other places. So I reserve the right to use the stump. And remember, when you use the stump, you can really bear down, but you can also use it lightly so that you don't lose all of your marks. You just soften your marks. So if we use the stump, we'll try to use it with a delicate touch. I also have a eraser shield, and the eraser shield has a lot of spaces and holes in it that I never use. Pretty much, I just use the edge of the eraser shield and lay it on contours that need to be sharp and erase up against it. So we may use the eraser shield, or I may just be showing it off because it's shiny. All right, I think that's it for materials. I do have a little tiny piece of a pink pearl eraser that's been cut, so it's got sharp little edges on it, and maybe I can use it if I need to see around the eraser and see what I'm doing. So I have a little chip of a pink pearl eraser. All right, that's it. That's all the materials I may use, maybe more than I will use. But anyway, if you have some of those, or if you just have a pencil, a yellow pencil with an eraser on the end and a piece of notebook paper, you can still follow along. You don't have to have all of these materials.
Yeah, we would encourage something other than notebook paper, at the very least.
I know. Some of my best drawings in high school were on notebook paper, and I hated that they were on notebook paper.
Notebook paper.
I just didn't have a sketchbook with me, and wasn't paying attention in class and started drawing.
Rock Flower Cat says, is this going to be the regular day and time each week? Yes, it always is.
That's right.
It's always Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Right, very consistent.
So, that's going to be different depending on where you are in the world if you're not in the same time zone as us. But yeah, it's the same time. It's recorded and published on YouTube. And we run through the season. So we have 11 episodes in each season. So that will be the standard for the next 11 weeks unless something comes up and we have to reschedule. But it will always be on. If we reschedule, it'll be the following Wednesday at the same time. So, And another question, where on the scale is the General's Layout pencil? It's about equivalent to a 4B pencil.
That's what I would say.
But the thing about the General's Layout pencil is the graphite is a little bit harder than a 4B pencil, so it keeps a sharper tip for a longer period of time.
It's not quite as shiny, which is good.
And Ashley's starting, so I need to start the timer.
I'm cheating.
45 minutes.
I'm cheating. I've got a mark down.
We have started.
All right. It has begun. All right, so we pretty much have a type of a cube, in terms of it's got 6 sides, but it's really a wedge. It's really a wedge, but it's cube-like. So we're going to start with just some straight lines. We're going to pretty much draw a box that's just a little wedge like. And I am using my pencil in front of my reference. I do have a reference here on an iPad, and I'm just tilting my pencil to measure or sort of capture an angle and study it a little bit, and then hold it over my paper and make a mark.
Now, is that the pencil sharpener?
Yes.
So the one that is in
this pencil sharpener.
Right, there it is.
We did a little photo shoot the other day. He's an excellent model, takes direction well. All right, now I'm going to check that line. It may be a little too vertical. Bring it down just a little bit and keep going from there. So we are drawing this larger than life, which is good. That makes our job a little bit easier. We draw a little bit larger than life. We can get into the details.
All right, Barb on here says, did you know that the black pearl erasers are discontinued and they had some on eBay for between $60 and $135?
Oh, I hate that. The black pearls. They're kind of shaped like an oval. I really like those.
Yeah. And Buddy says, Matt, did you forget to mention folks should write in capital letters if you or Ashley are directly asked? I did not forget that, Buddy. Buddy is a member, and we do our live shows, which are similar to Gettin Sketchy, but definitely more serious. But members, there's a chat box for members, and they can put their questions and comments in capital letters. But, Buddy, we have since encouraged people to use the super chat function here on YouTube. This is a free broadcast. So we would encourage folks to use the super chat function if they do have a question or comment that's directly, specifically dedicated, or that's not the right term. If it is specifically addressed to Ashley or I. But I will pick and choose comments to say beyond that, too. So, what size is this drawing, Ashley?
It's 4 inches by 5 inches.
4 inches by 5 inches there. Yeah. So a small drawing.
It's small. Yeah, it's small because of the time limit. If you wanted to make yours larger, if you wanted to, 8 by 10 would be good. Same ratio. I'm taking my time with the angles right now.
Actually, erasing with a potentially $135 eraser. Just watching it
bling
shred away.
Yeah. Well, now wait a minute. This isn't a black pearl.
It's not a black pearl.
The black pearls are shaped like an oval, if I remember correctly, and they're kind of sharp along the edge all the way around, which is what was nice about them. Very ergonomic. All right. I think we're gonna maybe this edge. Just gonna mess around with this a little bit and then remeasure. And what I'm measuring is I'm comparing the length of the back edge to the length of the top left edge for proportion.
Jan says the eraser is now only worth $134. Now it's like $133.
You only live once.
Every erase is another dollar out.
Okay, so now I'm measuring this again and comparing it to this edge. So let me do that out here in front of myself. You won't see this. Okay. I think we're gonna bring this in just a little bit more. And of course, we're not drawing a face here, so there's some room for proportional discrepancies.
Yeah, okay. Lord Engine says they like the Faber-Castell white erasers, but it's some kind of non-standard material. It's probably a vinyl or plastic eraser. Faber-Castell erasers that are white are usually plastic erasers, which are the strongest of all erasers, but also
they are strong.
They do smear graphite and they can tear your paper up, but very strong. I do have a video on YouTube all about erasers. So any type of eraser that you might be curious about, you could watch that video and it would tell you about how those erasers behave, what they're specifically designed for, and what they're made of. If I said that twice, forgive me. But
sounds like a nice video. Sounds pretty informative.
It's a good YouTube video.
All right, there is a, the angle that we're looking at this sharpener is from above. So there is a little bit of perspective going on in here. Our verticals aren't quite vertical. This one's probably the closest, but it leans outward towards the right just a touch. And this one leans outward toward the left. And this one much more so. This is a really obtuse angle on the paper. Of course, it's a right angle in real life.
A true example of three-point perspective in the wild.
Let's see. And lay that guy down there. Just erase away some of what we don't need. And also erase away some of what we do need. So we'll put that back. There we go. All right, nice and straight. Nice and straight. Now, we do have an ellipse in here, and by my estimation, the ellipse is widest at an angle. So I'm going to draw a straight line at an angle and then start my ellipse around it and see how it lands.
Okay, Buddy's asking, if you drew the eraser from your imagination, how can you figure out the proportions, especially the foreshortening? Just make it up? Well, yes.
You could use vanishing points.
Yeah, I would draw a cube first, actually, and then carve the eraser out of that. And I think...
Do you mean sharpener? Are we talking about this sharpener?
Yeah, what did I say?
Eraser?
Yeah, sharpener. Sharpener, eraser, same thing.
Same shape.
Let's start with a cube, and then carve the pieces out of the... carve the pieces out of that cube. And I think I have a lesson on the website, probably a video too, where I draw a pencil sharpener just like this, and that's how I draw it. So I am going to see if I can find that here on my cell phone, and then I'll let you know where it is if you want to dive deeper into that. But yeah, it's almost the exact same angle, actually.
Because it's a flattering angle.
It really is. It's the most flattering angle for a pencil sharpener.
All right, now there's a little cutout here, and that cutout is going to start with almost horizontally. So you got a little mark here that's almost straight across, even though we know the whole thing's moving at an angle.
Okay, it's a little bit of a different angle, but it's the same type of pencil sharpener. And you can find that if you go to the website, which is thevirtualinstructor.com, and just search for Drawing 101. So, Drawing 101.
So we'll use our little pink pearl chip in here because it's got tiny little corners. Pink pearls, I like to cut them up in little pieces, and it gives me lots of edges and corners to erase with. There we are. And then, of course, we've got our carve out on the other side. How are we going to get over there? Well, we're going to draw some lines that don't exist. So I'm just going to draw a line that's pretty close to parallel to the back edge of the top, and a line that's parallel or pretty close to parallel to the front edge of the top. And that'll give me starting and stopping points for the cutaway section on the far side of the top of our sharpener.
Jazz W is heckling me and the way I say drawing. It is not drawing. There's no L in the word drawing. It's DRAWING. Drawing. 101. Yes. And if I have a little bit of an extra W in that, because I'm from the South the United States, and that's how we speak down here.
That's how we talk.
And all you people from the northern part of the United States just speak incorrectly. There is a one of the videos, somebody made a comment about the way I say drawing, and there is over 200 plus comments on the way I say the word.
Oh,
and
goodness.
Some of those comments are incredibly offensive. In fact, it was one of the videos that really opened my eyes to how despicable people are and just how terrible people are and can be over the way someone says a word. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So for those of you...
Jeff says, I am north of the U.S. Well, then
yeah.
that means that you're in a completely different country and probably don't speak our language. So that means you are not an expert on it.
I don't know what language they speak up there. It's probably...
Yes, Lord Engine, you're right. Everyone has an accent. That's true. I'm very proud of my accent, actually. I'm very glad to be where I am from and the environment that I live in. Yes, Sean, YouTube comments. I mean, I'm telling you what, social media and the fact that people can say things and make comments without facing the person is a real problem. I really do think that social media is a very terrible thing for us as human beings and for our society. Now, you're watching a YouTube video right now. So some people consider YouTube to be social media, and I do feel like
it is classified as social media.
Right. I do feel like the comment part of that does kind of constitute social media. But the fact that people can say things and do things really without any repercussions or without, let's see, what's the word? Without any consequences.
I don't like to think of YouTube as social media. It's not like Facebook or X or something or Instagram.
No, but there is still a commenting platform there. So people can still say, somebody might be named Furry Duck 23 or whatever, and they can make whatever comment they want that might be reprehensible about someone or something. Now, listen, guys, trust me, I can take the drawing comments. I really can. But there are, if people are going to go that crazy over the way someone says a word, then imagine how crazy they go on other channels and what they say in people's comment section that's just terrible and hurtful and awful. And I think really it comes down to the fact that these people can do so without any consequences. And, if you're having a conversation with somebody face to face, you're going to face the consequences of what you say. But if you're just leaving a comment down there and your name is Furry Duck 23, if your handle is Furry Duck 23, no, I just made that up. But if your handle is Furry Duck 23, I am not talking about you. I just want to clarify that. I'm just making up a name. I'm sure there is a Furry Duck 23 out there somewhere. There's got to be. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't think it's good that people are left to that, because people are just unfortunately not morally strong enough to make the decision not to post hurtful things. So,
you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to post some hurtful things.
Post some hurtful things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, people are hurt. They're broken. They're sitting at home by themselves in a dark room, insulting people they don't know. And if you've been one of those people who have done that, shame on you. Really, shame on you.
People. I consider this area like the hardest. All these tiny little ridges, they get closer and closer, and the gaps between them become narrower and narrower. And it's all very, very lightly shaded. So, some tough stuff. All right, that's fair. It's fair. Let me go back to it, but to get some of that out of the way. This side is just super challenging because it's so light. And I know I'm already shading and have got a lot of parts not drawn in. But this part is on my left, so I'm not likely to rub my hand across it. I thought I'd just go ahead and get some of that out of the way. And it's very light, barely grazing the paper. I'm typically a heavy-handed drawer. I have to really concentrate on just grazing the paper. Of course, the front of our sharpener is nearly the same value as the paper that's just directly below it or even behind it. So there's great similarity there. And when I took this image, I did edit it a little bit in Photoshop. I used the burn tool, which can darken whatever you paint over with it. And I darkened the top to try to get the top a little bit more distinctly between the value of the side and the value of the front. It's still closer to the value of the side, but not as close as it originally was. So there was a little bit of an adjustment. And we don't have to use Photoshop for that. We can just use our brain. You know, I could have put the raw image up here and said, we're going to shade the top a little bit lighter than what you see in the reference. But for your benefit at home, I went ahead and darkened it so we can actually see what our target is, what we're aiming for.
So you burned the top plane?
Yeah, I burned the top.
Gotcha. And the reason why it's called burning is goes back to darkroom photography. For those of you who don't know, in the darkroom, you could use a tool that looks kind of like a lollipop, and you could spread it over the surface real quick, and while the image is being exposed, and that would make that specific area that you waved the lollipop tool over the top, that would make it less exposed, so it would make the value lighter, and that's called dodging. So the tool in Photoshop is you've got a burn tool and you've got a dodge tool, and the dodge tool is like the lollipop, and the burn tool is where you would overexpose an area. So you could cover other areas within a scene and have one area exposed for a longer period of time than another area within the picture plane, and that would make the values darker.
And I understand the term burn, and I might be making up why it's the term because I'm not a photographer. But when you burn things, they get darker, like my toast, right?
Well, you're burning it because you're exposing, you're having more light.
Okay.
You're having more light in that area. The light in the darkroom, the light is burning.
I gotcha.
You know, it's like the sun.
That's where it comes. Right. Okay. It's hot.
But if you're dodging the sun, you're dodging.
That's right. We're sun dodgers. All right. Oh, this screw is fun to draw, and you know, it's a rounded circle. It's dimensional, and you pretty much just capture it with an oval. It's got a reflection under it and all that business. So we'll get to that. The top of it, you know, kind of has a gradation to it around the little Phillips head shape, which is irregular because looks like it's all kind of bent and chipped up a little bit. So there's pretty irregular shapes of value in there. So you got some flexibility there. All right, and it's going to be shaded really dark around to blow it on the blade, and that's how we'll capture the reflection. We'll just kind of skip over that area.
Yeah, are you going to put the text in the blade?
Gosh, I don't think so. That is some pretty fine text. We could try, but it's so sharp, you know.
Yeah.
That I'm afraid it would turn out, it would look a little bit hokey, possibly, and take away from the clarity of the geometry in here. What does that say anyway? Made in Germany. So.
Oh, there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Made in Germany.
That's why it's such an excellent piece of equipment. Well designed. Well designed. All right. Let's go ahead and start laying some value down over the whole top. And generally the top is the lightest value across the top. So I'll probably just shade across the blade and everything. And then we'll just keep bringing other parts down. Now, I don't know. Oh gosh, 24 minutes to go.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
I haven't even thought about the clock. But it is shading time. So we'll get to it.
Well, this pencil sharpener here, this pencil sharpener drawing should prove to you guys that you can draw anything that you have sitting around. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be drawing or painting complex subjects in order to practice.
Right. They don't have to be genre paintings all the time, or portraits. And, we've drawn faces and portraits here in the 45-minute constraint, so it's doable. But I like everyday objects. I like these objects, particularly objects that are familiar to all of us. Brings us together. Common. They're common objects. Don't want to lose the edge there, so I'll go ahead and shade across the blade a little bit, just so we don't lose it in the shading. There we go.
Buddy says, did you know that Faber-Castell is the oldest industry in the world?
No.
It's not the oldest profession.
That's where my brain went. That's where my brain went too.
Well,
are you sure?
My God, the oldest industry in the world, Faber-Castell.
I know that Mitsubishi has been a company since the early 1800s. So I guess Faber-Castell is older than that.
I'm gonna have to figure out, because surely they haven't been making art materials. Surely they've done some other things.
Been happening a lot longer than that. Mitsubishi started out, I think, as a fishing company, because there were no electronics in the early 1800s. If I'm right on my timeline there. Somebody had to make sharpeners.
Okay, it says it's one of the oldest industrial companies in the world, founded in 1761.
Wow, that is very old. Older than our country.
But not necessarily the oldest. So very close, though. It says it's one of the oldest, but not the oldest company in the world. Oh, and it looks like Jan has already picked that up. The oldest business in the world is a Japanese construction company from 578 AD.
What?
Yes.
Still in business. Wow, they've done something right.
Must have been a translation issue, Buddy says. Anthony Johnson says, Matt, both of you are teaching art, not English. Ignore unnecessary comments. Yeah, thank God we're not teaching English or biology. My gosh.
No, definitely don't listen to us on biology.
All right, this next statement you might have to help me out with. I followed 10 plus weeks of excellent Orange U10 live class. American way of saying it, so different from how we say it. Messiah.
Orangutan?
It says Orange U10 live class.
Well, it's got a space in there, but it's the orangutan that you drew.
Right. Orangutan. Orangutan.
Golly, now I'm self-conscious when I say
Orange see, I'm trying to
I say it wrong. I say orangutan. There's no G on the end.
Orangutan. Is it orangutan? I remember us talking about the orangutan.
Ad nauseum.
Orangutan. Yeah. I think it's like someone from the United States insulting someone from Great Britain on how they speak
English.
And making fun of them for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Or it's like someone who has a Southern accent making fun of someone who's from Minnesota, for example, who speaks in a different accent than people from around here. It doesn't make any sense. I understand that, Southern accents are sometimes considered dumb or unintelligent, which is absolutely absurd too.
Absurd.
I'm pretty thick-skinned. I can take that. But 250 plus comments on the way I say drawing that is a sign that we have a problem in our society.
Well, I know it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot. But there are billions and billions of people, and they all watch our program.
Oh, that's true.
And so only 200 and some out of the 8 billion viewers is not too bad.
That video, I think, has maybe 5 million views or something like that. So
it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's still a lot. I mean,
it's still a problem.
That's not what the video is about.
No, but it is.
And drawing is a word that we all use. It's not sometimes I defer to how things are pronounced locally for the people who have the lived experience of wherever they're from, like the way a place is pronounced. Or, for example, Worcestershire sauce. I like to say Worcestershire sauce.
Some people say Worcestershire sauce.
That's exactly what the dictionary says it is, and I just do not understand that. I will not get over that. Clearly it's spelled like Worcestershire, but the dictionary says Worcestershire, and so I accept that. It's not my word.
Hey, Jazz
I
W.
read it differently.
Jazz W says, I was poking fun, not making fun. Get off of it. I apologize. Jazz W. Look, it's fine. But I am talking about the fact that I did get so many comments on me, the way I say that word. So I was snuffing that out right from the start because it's ridiculous. I'm sure if I met you, Jazz W, I could find something that I could make fun of too, but I wouldn't do that because I'm a good person. I'm tired of the way people treat each other online. I think it's messed up. And I can take it, but it doesn't make me feel good, and it shouldn't be that way, Let's see here.
All right, moving on to the front. We will get to the background. We've got 15 minutes. I think we're going to be okay.
You haven't used the General's layout pencil at all, have you?
No, but I've got, it's really dark in here, and the shadow back here is dark, and so that's kind of why I'm what I'm reserving it for. So I'm going to try to go ahead and use a lot of vertical strokes on the front. I kind of use vertical strokes on the side, and these are vertical edges. Seems appropriate. They have rounded corners, so may use, try to keep it blurry over here or soft. And if you need to go back and soften it with a kneaded eraser, that's a great tool for that.
Lord Engine, I don't know if that...
Lightening my pressure. There we go.
Lord Engine, I don't know if that comment is supposed to be a joke or if it was just a funny way, or if it just happened that way, but I think that's hilarious, your comment there. It says, it bothers me that nobody on the internet can spell, but I keep my mouth closed about it. Brenda says, "Great job, Ashley. Going to have dinner, and we'll see y'all in the lab class." All right, Brenda. We'll see you in a bit. Yeah, I do think you're going to have to use the General's layout pencil at some point. Are you still planning on it, right?
I'm still planning on it.
And that green pencil you're using, what is it?
It's a Kimberly HB.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a number 2 pencil.
Yeah, it's just a standard pencil.
Not dark in any extraordinary way. And if I bear down too hard on it, it'll get shiny fast.
Yeah.
So we're going to want to switch to the Generals when we get into the empty space. Business end of our sharpener. Got a little dark there. It's a little dark above the hole. And we should see, this feels dark, but we should see some contrast in here when we switch to the General's pencil. Haven't used any, haven't done any blending, or I'm sorry, smudging. Or blending. I am shading in a couple of directions sometimes, just to try to reduce the strokes, reduce the apparent strokes some. All right, now we got to judge our ellipse again and see if we lost its shape. I think it's okay. So it might have come in a little low over here. We'll carve it out some. That's what's nice about this electric pencil sharpener. Make some pretty precise adjustments without doing a lot, without accidentally or smudging. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch for a little bit to our General's layout pencil.
All right, here's where the real magic is going to happen. I do like the way you accented the lines on the ribs.
Here?
Yeah, and how you've got a variety of line quality around the edges.
Yeah, I'd really like to make that white. Go back and make those white, but I don't know if we will. And I could probably use... Actually, I probably need a sharper edge up here, so we'll use the General's pencil for that. Because this is in the foreground. I consider this corner the background and like this corner up here the foreground. So pretty narrow space in here. All right. I'm going to try to be careful and preserve a little bit of white around parts of this opening.
It must be a little raised surface around the outside.
Yeah, where it's been like machined out,
Yeah.
It must have a little bit of a burr. All right, and you may not see any strokes in here, but I'm going to go ahead and shade it with curvy lines because it's a curvy surface. And if the strokes do contribute, they'll contribute positively in describing this surface as being rounded. I'm only looking at where it's most black right now. We got to sneak up on this little highlight where I'm air circling. So get all the black area in where I don't have to think too hard or refer much to my reference. All right, and then think about some pressure changes starting around now.
So would you say you're putting about medium pressure on the pencil?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, maybe more. This is about as black as it goes. But now we have to be careful.
It's been a while since I've used just the General's layout pencil. I used to do a lot of drawings with just that one pencil. It really is pretty versatile. Extremely versatile. Oh, that looks nice right there. The only way to make that highlight really strong is to make the areas around it darker.
Yeah. I had a lesson about that today.
Oh, yeah?
If something needs to be lighter, but this was about paint, but you don't want to lose the color as much. You want to keep the color intense. You just have to make everything else darker, and instead of adding white,
Mm-hmm.
you talk a lot about not painting with black. And I often stress using as conservative amounts of white and using color to make things look like they're light instead of white, and using as much value or super high values. It's one of my things, I guess. Careful with the white. It does take out the color. White is just essentially the lightest gray. That's the way I like to think of it.
Buddy asked, do you know why the General pencils are so very nice and dark? I think that they just are, they're using some softer graphite in there, but I do think that they put some kind of constituents, maybe clay constituents or something in the pencil that keep the pencil a little harder than a 4B pencil. Because, a 4B pencil is one of the softer pencils on the scale, and that's the reason why it's so dark, is because it's soft. More graphite is released from the when you're making a mark on the surface, more graphite material goes on the surface. But with the General's layout pencil, for whatever reason, it's still fairly dark, but it keeps a sharper tip for a longer period of time. So it makes me think that there's some kind of additive making it not a 4B pencil, thus the designation on the side, number 555, whatever that means. Have we ever figured out what that means?
No, I've never even thought.
I mean, we've been using these pencils for over a decade, easy. And
maybe a couple of decades.
And have no idea why there's number 555 on the side.
I've never even wondered, like, are there 554 pencils that came before it? And finally they got it right.
This is formula.
This is the one.
Formula 555. We did it. We did it. But I do think that, I've always equated it to a 4B pencil, but it really probably is somewhere in between a 3B and a 4B pencil. Because, looking at it on the screen even, it looks a little bit lighter than what I would expect a 4B pencil to get, as dark as a 4B pencil would be.
All right, so I don't know if you can tell, maybe I'll zoom in, but through here I use lines with little gaps in them just so that the surface would look, I guess, machined. So it's a little, actually just like little lines or stripes. There's some gaps between them. A few of those marks are a little darker than others. And we could really turn a few of them more into small shapes, small dark shapes. So it looks a little bit more irregular. Oh, I like that. I like that. What's going on in the blade? And this is the kind of subject that I like to draw the most.
Now, you need to clarify that you're not talking about a pencil sharpener.
No, not pencil sharpener.
Ashley dreams of pencil sharpeners.
Smooth, flat surfaces and clear geometric shapes that, of course, these are all, none of them are 90-degree angles, but the object itself is made of 90-degree angles. And you see ellipses and parallelograms and things like that, those types of shapes throughout. So those are the kind of subjects that I like the most. All right, getting darker in the blade now with our ebony pencil. Okay, we're going to jump in the background. We've got very little time to do it, so we'll probably definitely be smudging some.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Here we go.
That shadow is going to make a big difference, too.
Right. Give it a place to live. Now it's just floating. Floating in white space.
Well, those values are pretty similar. You'll have to.
It's going to have to get darker.
Have to define the edge or get darker, or one way or something.
Well, now that I'm close to the sharpener, I can use it to figure out how dark I need to be up here, and I found it. Be a little careful around these ridges and edges. So I'm just making my stroke from and away from those edges, not towards them. Pretty dull piece of lead right now, so it covers a lot of space, but it does pick up the texture of the paper a little bit more. Can't be helped. Time is of the essence. This is a timed drawing, which is valuable and presents its own challenges and forces us to make some decisions that we might not make if we had all Sunday afternoon to do our drawing.
June is wondering what color the background was and the sharpener itself.
It was a black piece of paper. It was a black Hansen Metance piece of paper.
Well, it must have been the smoother side of the paper.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe
that looks like the black Artigan paper.
Yeah, that's what it was. You're right.
Charles says the background makes that really pop.
Yeah, we needed to make the light sides feel light, and all that white paper wasn't doing it for us. Of course, we've got 2 minutes, and going to make it, or it's going to be close.
Okay, Priscilla tells us the number 555 on the General's pencil indicates their layout pencil, a soft extra black. Yeah, thanks for that, Priscilla. We do know that it's the layout pencil. Ashley and I have been using these pencils for, I wasn't kidding about decades. At least a decade.
Years.
It may be. We have been using these pencils for a long time. I would order them for my classrooms. And then when I was the lead teacher for the system, I got rid of the ebony pencils and brought those in so that other teachers could only order the layout pencils.
Right. The only choice.
The General's layout pencils, because they're so good. But we're just curious about like the actual number 555.
Like, what does it compare to?
Right.
Because I know a 2B compares to a 4B and how, but is there another General's pencil that's not a 555? It's some other sort of a designation. There's something under this board.
It must
like a piece of tape under here.
Yeah, there's probably all kinds of stuff underneath
bumps.
that board. Yeah. I think it's probably the formula they're using, because it is not just graphite. It can't be just graphite. There's got to be something in there to keep the tip from dulling so quickly. Charles is wondering if you're going to use the blending stump for the background.
Yeah, probably. Probably a little bit.
Lord Engine says because the 666 is so hard. Well, it's because the 666 is the satanic pencil.
That number's taken.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to use a 666 pencil.
That's what they started with, and they had no sales. No one was buying that. They're like, we gotta mark this different.
In that case, I would have called it the 777.
Because it's lucky. All right. Oh, time's up.
Yeah, time's up. That's okay. Keep going.
Keep going for just
keep going. You gotta finish this one.
Yeah.
We have 30 minutes to the next show anyway.
That's true. And you already know what you're doing. Matt has started a new live class, so if you're ready to jump in, today would be a great day to do that. We're near the beginning of class.
Frankie says, I'm always struggling with what to draw to practice. These drawings are so inspiring to see the simple things in a different way. Complex, but not if that makes sense. Makes sense. That does make sense, Frankie. And also says, great job. Frankie, I do have a video on YouTube entitled How to Practice Drawing. So you might want to look for that video. And also, I have a video on how to. I have several videos on how to improve drawing, but the one with practice drawing kind of goes hand in hand with those other videos. So how to practice drawing might be helpful because some people like to just sit down and make some marks and think they're practicing, and they're practicing making marks, but drawing is something that really happens in our mind. The marks are the result of the decisions that we make in our mind. So you're really training your mind when you're drawing with purpose, or when you're practicing with purpose, I should say. Okay, Barb says, AI said, this is referring to the General's layout pencil.
Okay.
AI says it's a product identifier, indicating it is extra black and extra soft drawing pencil with its graphite core bonded to the wood for increased strength and reliability. Okay. Yes, but why 555?
So I'm just using this lightly just to take some of the speckles out, but not all the variability of the marks. And it would get too dark if I press down too hard. I feel pretty good about how much graphite I put down, so I don't want to get too dark, but just a little bit I think helps. So there is a little bit of a darkness right in front of our sharpener, in addition to the really darker value that is to the top right of our sharpener. And there is a piece of tape. Can you guys see that? You see that little outline?
I can see that.
I must have not noticed that, but it's okay. It's part of the artwork now.
Well, there's no telling how many artworks have been created on that board.
I know.
A lot.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Barb says it continues. AI continues. The number isn't part of the graphite hardness scale. Instead, it signifies the specific version of the pencil known for being a versatile tool for preliminary sketches. So I think the version of the pencil, I think it's their formula.
Yeah.
I think
there were 554 attempts, and then they got this.
Or they just decided.
Or maybe it's the 5.5, but they left the point out, like version 5.5. I don't know.
But he says
we're gonna have to call Generals and demand an explanation.
Hey, is this General's art materials? Why 555? Click.
We get that all the time.
Yeah, they try calling a art manufacturer company. Just try that. But he says it's amazing how actually light is the sharpener.
Yeah.
The background really makes it pop.
Seen plenty dark before.
Yep, that's a good lesson in the relative nature of value. If you rewind the video, go back to the part where videotape players used to make that sound. Now, I don't even think they made that sound, did they? When you're rewinding.
No, probably not. Only in the movies.
Anyway, if you rewind, go back a little bit and look at the pencil sharpener when the background was white, and then come forward to where the background is black, you can really see
like
how
I erased it out.
Value is so relative.
Okay, let's see. Should we pull the tape off?
Yeah. Brenda says the General's pencils are made up of graphite and a clay binder. I called it.
It is clay.
I knew it had some kind of clay constituent in it.
That's what makes it different than the ebony pencils.
And also keeps a sharper tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not nearly as shiny.
I'm still drawing. I'm going to stop. I even pulled a piece of tape off and then started drawing. My hands are a little dirty, so hopefully I won't get any distinct fingerprints on here. There we go. Oops. Oh, I guess that's just a torn piece. There we go.
And there we go.
And there it is.
The pencil sharpener and graphite complete. So the first drawing of season 15 is complete.
Yep, we're in it now.
Yep, that's for sure. All right. I don't think there's anything else to address here. He's getting real close.
Just
there.
trying to see how close. That's
Yeah,
about
you get
as
too close,
as
it
you
gets
can get.
yeah, it gets blurry.
Yeah, I do like the shininess of the blade. I think that worked out okay.
Yeah, I think that looks good. And the screw on the top, I like the way that's reflecting,
yeah,
shining.
That looks good. All right, fantastic. I hope you guys drew along. And if you're not finished, keep going.
All right. Yeah, there's rewinding is really not a thing anymore, is it?
You just pull that little red line back and forth.
Scrub.
Yeah, you got.
If you scrub back. Charles says, really nice drawing. Looks real. Thanks there, Charles. Lord Engine says,
funny.
looks good.
Thank you so much.
Jen says, love it. The drawing was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun to do.
Priscilla says, bravo. We got thanks, guys. From
It's probably
Terry
a
B.
little shiny. There we go. That's a little. You can see the shadow a little bit. It's a little shiny, but not as bad as a regular ebony pencil.
All right. Well, very good. We'll go ahead and switch out because
you got to get set up.
I got to get set up.
That's right. Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed watching Ashley develop his drawing as much as I did enjoy it. I don't know if you can hear the dogs going berserko in the background, but they are. Ashley, got any last things for the folks here before we...
Hope the wait wasn't too long, and I'm glad that we've started it again. So Matt will be drawing next week, and I don't know what he's going to be drawing. I bet he doesn't know what he's going to be drawing. So you're going to have to tune in 6 days and 23 hours to find out. Otherwise, have a great week, have a safe week, and if the seasons change where you live, enjoy the change of seasons. It's a great time.
All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you're joining us for the live class in just a minute, we will see you there in just a few minutes. We're working with pastels, and I've got one eye of the dog almost complete. Actually, we did a lot last week. So
yeah, you did.
This will be the second lesson in the series. So if you're joining us there, we look forward to seeing you then. For the rest of you, we will see you right here next week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Standard Time, whatever it is. And I will be doing the drawing next week. I'm going to be working with pastels and pastel pencils. I have decided that, but I have not decided on the subject. But it will not be something angular and man-made. Ashley likes the angular man-made stuff, and I like some of that too. But I like more organic.
I've been branching out lately. Yeah. I've been doing.
You did a horse,
more animals,
horses,
and nature.
And people and stuff.
I did a duck.
You did a duck?
Yeah, so I've been really trying to stretch myself a little bit.
All right, guys. With that, we're going to go ahead and sign out for this evening. We will see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that junk. And leave a comment in the comment section below. All the stuff you're supposed to do as responsible YouTube users. All right, good night, everybody.